If you're getting ready for the IELTS exam, you already know that the listening section can be, well, pretty tough. But what if I told you there's a hidden code? A single sentence that basically gives away the blueprint the test designers are using. Well, in this explainer, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to crack that code. Let's dive in. So, what do an academic, a tour guide, and an office worker all have in common? I know, it sounds like the start of a bad joke, right? A professor, a person showing tourists around, and an office administrator. I mean, what on earth could possibly link these three completely different jobs? The answer, it turns out, is everything. Yep, that's it. These three people hold the key to crushing the IELTS listening test. See, these roles aren't just random picks. They actually represent the main challenges you are absolutely going to face on test day. Once you understand them, you change how you practice, and that is how you get the score you're aiming for. And here it is. This is it. This one sentence is the source for this whole explainer. Now, it looks pretty simple, right? Just a straightforward instruction. But it's not. It is a powerful, secret formula. It has every single ingredient we need, and it's a roadmap to understanding this test from the inside out. So, let's put on our detective hats. We're going to deconstruct this thing. We're going to take this formula apart piece by piece, and you're going to see why it is so perfect for getting you ready for the test. We'll look at the accent, the speakers, and the one crucial thing they're all doing. All right, the very first piece of the puzzle is right there at the beginning, the specific mention of a British accent. Now, this isn't just a random choice. It is a very deliberate training instruction. So why British? Why not just say, listen to English? There is a very, very strategic reason for this. It really boils down to three key things. First, and most obviously, the British accent shows up a lot on the official test, so practicing it gives you a huge advantage. Second, when you focus your training like this, you're teaching your brain to tune in to its specific rhythms, its unique vocabulary. And finally, think about it. When you can confidently understand one of the main accents you're going to hear, your confidence on test day just skyrockets. It's all about training smart. Okay, so we've nailed down the accent. Let's move on to the next part of our formula, the cast of characters. The prompt specifically names a lecturer, a guide, and an office administrator. These are the three speaker archetypes you absolutely have to know inside and out. First up, we have the lecturer. This voice drops you right into a university classroom, which, let's be honest, is where a lot of you are headed. This speech is formal, it's structured, and it's packed with information. So the test here isn't just about catching individual words, it's about whether you can follow a complex, logical argument and pull out the main ideas, just like you would in a real college class. Next, we've got the guide. This voice puts you in a public space, maybe a museum tour or an announcement over a loudspeaker at a train station. The language here is a bit more casual, but the challenge is different. This part tests your ability to be a detective, to pull out those critical little details from a whole stream of information. Names, dates, times, meeting places. It's all about listening with precision. And our third and final voice, the administrator. This one puts you in the middle of a transaction. Think about calling an airline to book a ticket, or maybe trying to open a bank account. The goal here is to see if you can understand practical arrangements. Can you follow a conversation about schedules, prices, and confirmations? These are the skills you need for just everyday life. So let's just lay it all out. We've got these three totally distinct roles, right? Each one has a unique context and tests a specific skill. You've got the formal arguments of academic life, the need-to-know facts of public life, and the practical arrangements of day-to-day life. The test is basically making sure you can handle listening in all the key environments you're going to encounter. So we've got the accent, we've got the speakers, but there's one last super important piece to this puzzle. It's the action word that ties it all together: giving instructions. This, right here, is where the real mental heavy lifting happens. And this is so important to understand. Listening, especially on this test, is not a passive activity. You're not just supposed to let the sounds wash over you. You are actively processing information to do something. Following instructions is a complex skill, and that is exactly what the IELTS test wants to measure. And this is basically what's happening in your brain in fast forward. First, you have to identify the command. What am I actually supposed to be doing here? Second, you have to isolate the key details, the names, numbers, and places you need to do it. And third, you have to predict the answer format. Am I writing down a word, a date, a phone number? It's a lightning-fast, three-step checklist you're running through for every question. All right, it's time to put it all back together. We've taken the formula apart, we've looked at all the pieces, and now we're going to see the magic that happens when you combine the accent, the three voices, and that crucial action of giving instructions. This right here, this is the aha moment. That simple little instruction isn't just an instruction, it's a recipe to build your very own IELTS flight simulator. It combines all the right ingredients, the specific accent, the real-world scenarios from our three voices, and the active task of following instructions. All of it comes together to create a practice environment that perfectly mimics the pressure and the mental workload of the real deal. Okay, so knowing the secret formula is one thing, but how do you actually use this knowledge to get a better score? Let's turn all this insight into a concrete action plan you can start using today. Here is your new study blueprint. First, start actively hunting down practice materials with British speakers. Second, diversify. Don't just listen to one type of thing. Find academic lectures, watch travel vlogs, maybe even listen to recordings of customer service calls. Third, when you practice, really focus on exercises that make you follow instructions, not just answer a simple question. And finally, and this is the most important part, when you make a mistake, become a detective. Ask yourself why you got it wrong. Was it the accent, the context, or the instruction itself? This is how you start practicing smarter, not just harder. And that's really what it all comes down to. You've now had a peek behind the curtain. You understand the why behind the test's design. So the final question isn't from me, it's for you. Now that you know the secret, how are you going to listen differently from now on?